Welcome to Foundation Home Learning. This is a foundation unit appropriate for children learning from home during this extended school closure. It is designed to provide learning opportunities for primary age children and will help to develop their ability within the science, history, geography and art curriculum. This is lesson number 8 in the series. Please listen along, pause the video when necessary and listen out for the task appropriate for your age and ability. To be prepared for today's lesson, make sure you have something to write with and your home learning book. You will also need a large bowl, a small yogurt pot or plastic cup, cling film, water, a small weight or a few coins, and a sunny windowsill. Follow along with the video and be sure to pause when you've been given a task to complete. You will know when to pause when you see the symbol in the bottom corner of the screen. Today's learning objective is to understand the water cycle. Water covers 70% of the Earth's surface and makes up 60% of our body. This amazing natural resource is very important for the life of both animals and plants. In addition to having many amazing properties, water is the only substance that appears on Earth naturally in the 3 physical states of matter: gas as water vapour, liquid as water, and solid as ice or snow. Most of the other substances exist only in one state in nature. As water passes through the different stages of the water cycle, it changes from one form to another by absorbing or releasing heat energy in the process. The first stage of the water cycle is evaporation. Energy from the sun heats up the surface of the earth, causing the temperature of the water in our rivers, lakes and oceans to rise. When this happens, some of the water evaporates into the air, turning into a gas called vapour. Plants and trees also lose water to the atmosphere through their leaves. The next stage of the water cycle is condensation. As water vapour rises up high into the sky, it cools and turns back into liquid, forming clouds. This process is called condensation. Currents high up in the air move these clouds around the globe. The next stage in the water cycle is precipitation. When too much water has condensed, the water droplets in the clouds become too big and heavy for the air to hold them up. And so they fall back down to earth as rain, snow, hail or sleet, a process known as precipitation. The final stage of the water cycle is collection. The fallen precipitation is then collected in bodies of water such as rivers, lakes or oceans, from where it will eventually evaporate back into the air and begin the cycle all over again. How it is collected depends on where it lands. Some will fall directly into lakes, rivers or seas, from where it will evaporate and begin the cycle all over again. If the water falls on vegetation, it may evaporate from the leaves back into the air or trickle down to the ground. Some of this water may then be taken up by plant roots in the earth. In cold climates, the precipitation may build up on land as snow, ice or glaciers. If temperatures rise, the ice will melt to liquid water and then soak into the ground or flow into rivers or the ocean. Water that reaches land directly may flow across the ground and collect into oceans, rivers or lakes. This water is called surface runoff. Some of the precipitation will instead soak into the soil, from where it will slowly move through the ground until it eventually reaches the oceans or rivers. Today you will complete a water cycle experiment. To do this, you will need a large bowl, a small yogurt pot or cup, clean film, water, small weights or a few coins, and a sunny windowsill. Here's what to do with your water cycle experiment. Take the bowl and fill it with several centimetres of water. Place your small pot in the centre of the bowl of water, making sure to not get any water inside it. Cover the large bowl with clean foam and fasten it down securely on the side of the bowl. Put a weight on top of the clean film over the centre of the small pot and push the clean film down into it slightly. Place your experiment on a warm, sunny windowsill and leave it for a few days. You should find that the heat from the sun evaporates the water, which rises, condenses onto the cold plastic and falls into the small container. This is a small version of what would happen in the real water cycle. Here is what your water cycle should look like. As you can see, there is a small amount of water in the bowl with a small container in the middle. The clean film is along the top of the bowl with the weight in the middle. As you can see, we would hope to see the water evaporate and then condense onto the clean film. Year 1 and 2, here's your main task. With your home teacher, create this water cycle experiment in 3 different places in your home and leave it for a couple of days. After a couple of days, you can measure the amount of water that is collected in each container. The one with the most will be the best place for the water cycle to work. Can you explain why? Year 3 and 4, here's your main task. With your home teacher, perform the water cycle experiment in 3 different places in your home and leave it for a couple of days. Can you predict which one will have the most liquid in after a couple of days and explain your answer? Measure the amount of liquid collected in each container and see if you were correct. Can you explain why you were either correct or incorrect? And finally, Year 5 and 6, here's your main task. With your home teacher, perform the water cycle experiment in 3 different places in your home and leave it for a couple of days. After a couple of days, can you record your results and write up an experiment that includes the following subheadings: an introduction, the equipment, a method, a prediction, a results table, and a conclusion. So how have you done? Time to share your work with the class. Read your work out to your home teacher, but don't forget to check for spellings and punctuation mistakes before you do. Well done everybody, that's the end of lesson 8. Be sure to join us again in the next lesson.